Hello everyone, it's me, Bo Chevisu. I'm going to point out some of the things that I like about this new Olight flashlight, as well as some of the things I don't necessarily care for about this. So let's jump right into this review. First of all, I did in fact test this thing overseas, specifically in southern Peru. I traveled with this for a week. Typically my EDC flashlight is the Olight Baton 3. As you can see, the Baton 3 is much smaller than this Olight right here. Now, the Arkfeld UV is exactly what it sounds like. It has the UV light, and that is truly what makes this unique. So although it is a bit bigger, it does give you the ability to actually turn on the UV light. So I'm gonna show you right here. First of all, to turn it on normally, just depress it like this. And this is the natural light color. It's kind of a yellowish type tinge, as opposed to the blue light, which I don't necessarily like. I think that manipulates your color of your environment way too much, and it's just hard on my eyes. So I would recommend the yellow type light, which you can see here. And then to flip it over to the UV version, you simply rotate this toggle like so. And just like that, it is this blue UV light. Now, when it's light out like this in my filthy garage, you can't actually see it that well. You can kind of see it, but once you turn off the lights, this thing shines like the sun. It is incredible to see all of a sudden, all of the organic material that you both want to see and also might not want to see. So I was in Peru in some Airbnbs, and I could turn this on and it would light up the whole room, and I could see exactly where they did not vacuum the rug. And I was able to then put on my slippers and make sure that I wasn't compromising the hygiene of the bottom of my feet as I lived in this place for a week. Now, when it comes to the actual purpose of a UV light, I'm not a germaphobe, but I will say I kind of wish that I had gotten the laser version of this. And you'll see that the Arkfeld also comes in this laser, this green laser version. But the only reason why I got the UV light version is the clip. The laser version does not have a clip like this. And typically when I travel, I have a baseball cap. And this particular clip is almost designed like an S, meaning that I can clip this onto my hat and effectively turn this into a headlamp. The laser version just has a clip like this designed to go in your pocket. It does not convert into a headlamp. So I wish they had combined the two things, allowing this S-type hat clip to be also on the laser version, but I went for this because I'm more apt to use the clip on my hat rather than the laser. Does that make sense? So that's the major difference, in case you're wondering, between the Arkfeld UV and the Arkfeld laser version. If you're like me and you're gonna clip it on your hat, go with the Arkfeld UV like this. Now, in terms of how bright this thing is, let's go ahead and turn it on like so. There are a couple functions. When you hold this down, hold it down, bright, and then super, super bright. And when you hold it down again, it goes back to normal. Now, when I turn it on to the brightest possible function and then quickly press it to turn it off like that, and then turn it back on like that, it retains the last brightness level. So it has a memory, so to speak. So that's kind of nice. 95% of the time, I just have it on the lowest possible version like this, because typically I'm on an airplane and with my family, and I just need to get something that I dropped, and I don't want to fork over my cell phone, which is plugged in somewhere. And this is just right in my pocket, and I'm able to pull it out. It is light enough to actually put in your teeth like this. And so, I don't know how sterile this is because it's just been traveling in South America, but that's typically how I use it if I need to use both hands or if I clip it onto my hat. Yes, this does have a magnetic type charging port similar to the Baton 3, and you can actually use the plug with the Baton 3 and the exact same magnetic plug with this. Isn't that cool? So I just need to have one cable there on my nightstand, my dresser. I can charge this, pull it off, and I can charge this as well. And lastly, what I like about this is the fact that yes, I can clip it into my pants up like this. Now, some people always situate their flashlight down. Personally, I don't like to do that, because if I were to accidentally bump my flashlight, and if it's on the highest possible setting, it's gonna cook my pants and it's gonna burn. So if you ever look up reviews on Olight, there's a lot of complaining out there about it spontaneous combustion. Typically that occurs due to bootleg batteries, or it's situated like this down in your pocket and it just slowly cooks because you accidentally bumped it like so. So for me, I personally try to situate it up like this in my pocket, so if I do accidentally bump it, it is straight up and I can look down and I'd be like, oh wow, I accidentally bumped it. It's actually accidentally on. Now I haven't actually bumped it yet. It's just a security thing that I do where I walk with it. I EDC it face up, and that's just how I do it. But the button itself is depressed, so you can't actually hit it very well. I haven't actually had it accidentally turn on. And then lastly, what I love about this is, yes, there is a battery indicator. You can see right there, I am about 75%. So let's turn that on again to show you like that. It's kind of similar to the Baton 3, which I didn't know there was a battery indicator, but if you kind of look on there, anyway, I'm not trying to point out the features in the Baton 3. You can go look up reviews on that. But overall, it is solid, fantastic battery life traveling with this thing. I've already got some wear and tear on this thing. And yeah, the UV feature, especially if you have kids, it immediately turns everything into a black light type environment, and they love it. If there's anything white on you, it just glows. It is so wicked looking. And of course, if you're looking for hygiene and cleanliness, you can also use this to see if in fact there's something yucky on your hotel bed sheets or something. But for me, I use the actual flashlight the vast majority of the time. And man, it's nice to have this in my pocket. It's slim too. It's slim instead of like these other thick type flashlights. You can see the difference right there. So I like the lower profile. Anyway, that's it. Major features and functions of the Olight Arkfeld UV.